He maintains his unbeaten record, and it's a treble for Willie Mullins and Ruby Walsh.
See the Stars wins a 4th Guineas for Mick Kinnaird.
Hello, we are back with our 4th day early Cheltenham preview. Just before we get into it though, Ben, I saw you last weekend. Was it last weekend? No, it was another week ago.
It was
last weekend.
Yeah,
Saw you in Ireland.
Yeah.
How did you get on?
Yeah, here when the first 6 favourites are going in, how you walk home with no money? Haha,
Yeah,
George.
quite easily when you're putting something in at Lingfield at 4 to 11.
Yeah, nah, it was what a great weekend racing. What a great weekend.
What was your favourite? What was your highlight? The one that blew you away?
No, it wasn't the most impressive performance, but after Sir Gerhard goes in, the 6th favourite, you turn around and the main stands just in chorus of the bookies, and the bookies are on their knees, praying for redemption. There's no more glorious sights. Like a mate of mine had, I don't know, he had an X amount of money on him. I'm not going to say how much, but he had a big stab at one. I think it was the 4th favourite. It was maybe Shagon or something. And he went up to the bookie. He was like, "Here," I was like, "No, I have to go borrow money off the other bookie to pay him out." They were absolutely on their knees after the 4th race, like lending money off each other.
Jesus.
And usually when you go up and have a bet, they're having a bit of chit chat with you, but it's just you get the blank look and the blank stare.
They got let off in the end, didn't they? With Pink in the park, that could have been an absolute disaster.
Yeah. I still think if Patrick took Pink in the park around the outside, she might have won. But then the guy, he obviously hit the ground. But I think we went up the inside. That's probably maybe it hasn't got her beat, but yeah, I don't know. But still an all in all very successful day. Had doubles, trebles, singles.
Yeah, that was probably the best finish. That Mez flat race at the end was an awesome
the
finish.
Bumper. Yeah, I think the writing was on the wall though. That's the 5th run of the race. No favourites have won. All outsiders.
Yeah, very true.
40-1 pisses up, but no, sorry, no, I'm not gonna say pisses up. 40-1 scrambles on this year, like so.
Yeah, on the line.
But yeah, anyone watching, get yourself over to Dublin next year. What's the dates, George? I think you booked your hotel already. Is it the first weekend again?
Yeah, I think it's is it like the 3rd or 4th? It's a bit earlier than what it was this year. But yeah, I'm already booked, so
yeah. Get yourself over. 2 days, great racing, great crack. The Marquee after racing's great crack too. Good music. People just love gambling.
Yeah,
that's just the Irish.
I'm convinced that Marquee's going to fall down one day because every time I go inside,
so I'm not gonna lie. Sitting in there on the Sunday, the wind blowing, I'm thinking to myself, the bookies on their knees. I'll be on my knees in a fucking minute.
Yeah. In 2020 it was the same. It was like 40-mile-an-hour winds, and you're watching the preview before the race, and everybody's looking up every 2 seconds just to make sure they're not about to die. Right, Dan, did you get any winners at Dublin? Have any bets?
Yeah, I bet a few. Yeah, I was probably in the same boat as Ben, to be honest. But as in, I thought there was a lot of favourites. It was probably gonna. It's usually quite a good, meeting for favourites, isn't it? Because you just get a lot of the best horses in Ireland. This is the last chance.
Well, he brings the battalion, like.
Yeah, exactly, and this is the last chance they'll get, really, that they want to. This is the latest they want to send them out, really, and you don't really see many coming out after this that are possibly going to Cheltenham.
Yeah,
certainly not much later than a week after, anyway. And this is the best place to do it. So, as in most impressive, I thought Galvin de Champs was. I thought he was absolutely unbelievable. I think he'll win at Cheltenham wherever. To be honest, he'd have a good chance.
It shouldn't even be a debate. He should be in the 3-miler.
Well, no, I don't think he will go for the. I don't think on any planet that he'll go for the 2-mile 5 race. But just purely because you've got probably the 2 best novice chasers in training, as in Bob Ollinger and Galloping, and I don't think they're going to go against.
He'll run against Brave Man's Game, won't he? You would have thought.
Yeah, and I think
the big handicapper.
Yeah. Honestly, do you know what? It's difficult because if he was mine, I would seriously be considering sending him to the Gold Cup, because I think what we saw on the second chasing performance in a Grade 1, and it was a Grade 1, it was a proper race, and he just took them apart. You can say they, underperformed, and that's possible, but the rating would tell you different, and I think the rating's right. I think he just destroyed them.
Oh, he ripped them up, no doubt. But his jumping, like he was sketchy at a few, like.
He was definitely, but I think he's that clever. I just don't think it. I just think that the Gold Cup this year is that.
But in all
open.
fairness, in all fairness, like when Sky Bet are offering 6-4 for +5 lengths, you're coming around the home bend and Paul's looking between his legs and it's in glory land. You're standing at the blue rail at the front of Leopardstown shaking your fist. Come on, Paul, son.
I think you'd be. Let's put it this way. I think if he did run in the Gold Cup, I think you'd be very, very brave to lay him. I think you'd be really, really putting your neck out if you were to lay him in the Gold Cup. I honestly think after what I saw, I thought he'd win it. Just pure. I thought maybe like Aplutar, possibly what we saw from Manila Indo they would be the challengers, but Conflated's not going to win a Gold Cup, and he absolutely tore them apart at the weekend.
Don't do that.
Don't be ruining my tips before we've even started. Come on.
Oh, bloody hell, surely not.
Hey, lads,
Lads,
Facile Vega, talk to me.
Facile Vega.
Another one. Yeah, another one very impressive. You can't not think that's impressive, can you? I'm not surprised he's the favourite. I thought he was a bit short.
I sat there at
he should be favourite.
4 to 5. I sat there looking at the boards thinking, right, do we go? What point do I go in here? Oh, no, we'll wait. And then he went 8 to 11. You think, nah, I'll leave it. And really, it would have turned my weekend around if I'd have just backed him at 4 to 5. So, but
I was only there on the Sunday in the flesh, George. Like when he leveled up with I can't remember who it was, Sandy or Fagnin or Ian, yeah. And he, like last year, people put in comparison. Seen Kevin Blake done a really good video like Kilcock glided past him. Patrick leveled with that Sangor horse, and he just pressed the button and he went. Last year was totally different. The horses got tired out in front, and he sort of glided past them. Like Patrick hit a button on this horse, and he went bush.
Yeah, and even that was I'm
a liar. I'm a liar if I say that I haven't backed him for the Supreme next year. This is the one I'd be a liar if I said I haven't.
Did you see?
Yeah, I mean for me it's not my bet,
because if he wins this bumper and he wins it if he wins, like he's only going to get better. That's the second race in the space of 4 weeks. He's only going to improve. If he does something special at Cheltenham, he's going to be 4 to 1, 3 to 1 for the Supreme next year.
I guess the only thing you could crab is that obviously, the form.
That's a good field. That's a good field of bumper.
Yeah, it is a good field, and it's another one in it though. It's like it's the sort of argument that I put with Galloping. Did they really? You've got Khan Funnock in third, who was beating 20 lengths, and it's more the way he won. It's not what he won, he beat. Sorry, it was more the way he won, because Khan Funnock won it. Didn't that win at Ayr or something in a ridiculous bumper or something?
Yeah, it was there.
It won somewhere anyway, because that's the Stuart Crawford one, isn't it? And I remember I think I backed it that day, to be honest. Cause I don't even know if it went off favourite.
11 to 8.
But it absolutely bolted up. Won as he liked, but that you could sort of crab that form, I guess, because they're not strong bumpers, as we know. It's not in the same league, but it wasn't what he beat that day. It was the way he won and the time he put
in. It's just the way he levelled up and went boom. Had a button and he just went boom.
Well, he won on the snaff, didn't he? He won on the bridle.
Well, I mean, if you take
that Cheltenham bumper is going to be unbelievable. I can say it's probably going to be one of the best.
I think he's short because I think
I won't back him for the bumper.
I just think, given the times that American Mike has put up and how well they I don't think there's much between them. Certainly not 4 to 1 and 4 to 5.
No, definitely not. You'll see Facile Vega drift. He'll go off over the odds.
Oh yeah, he won't go off any short than 4 to 5 because the money will come for American Mike. I would think they would if they both get there, they'll probably be 5 to 2, 6 to 4.
American Mike's more stairs, so. Got up that hill.
I don't see how they pushed out American Mike so far. I know Facile Vega was impressive, but I wouldn't have American Mike any bigger than 5 to 2 now. 4 to 1.
No,
crazy.
That's what I mean.
I agree.
That's what I mean. I think he'll come in for money, and I think that'll just naturally bring Facile Vega out to a probably, people might think that's back.
Like American Mike's not slow, but he's got more. He's more stamina. Like he's a stayer in the mid. He's a 2.5 next year.
That might get him beat on the day, but we'll see, won't we? Obviously, weather and things at the minute. If it stays like.
And Patrick won't show up about Redemption Day either, so there has to be something there too. There's something he sees at home.
Yeah.
that we don't actually get to see.
You know, we saw a lot of clues, and we saw a lot of clues that we think,
But
you know, that we think like Sir Gerhard and things that sort of muddied the waters a little bit, if you like. But yeah, definitely
get him up. Get him up.
Definitely for me. But I just think they'll put him up in trip, like I say, just because they can't send the other one up in trip, and he's too good for them. So, and I think if he, honestly, if he runs in the Supreme, he's probably should be favourite there. So I think your argument, I'm coming round to your argument more of, could he win the Supreme? Yes, he definitely could. Will he win the Ballymore? Yes. Will he win the Supreme? I don't know. Will he win the Ballymore?
He wins wherever he goes.
So I think he's got a good chance in the Supreme.
But
I think
he's got to jump better, and that's why I think they might put him up in trip. Might be
well,
not going to be as much pace on. He needs to jump a wee bit better. He's quite novice.
Yeah, I just think, you know, you look at the Supreme, what's he going to go off? Like, he could go off favourite, but what's he going to go off if he goes off favourite? 2-1, 9-4? You know, if he goes
if he runs in the Supreme, he'll go off about 9-2, 4-1.
He'll be odds on if he goes in that Ballymore, for me.
I think he was 11-4. I had a right stab the other day at 11-4. Now he's 7-4. So there's money coming. Well, I don't know if it's Tom Siegel blowing smoke up like, or is that why the price is shortening? But the price is going somewhere. Like
Tom Siegel was, it was saying that he should stay down in trip. He's quite into it.
Is that what it was? I remember you saying earlier, but I wasn't reading too much into it, to be honest.
Yeah,
is that what it was?
He's saying that they should stay down in trip because of the pedigree, which it makes sense. But the other argument is that bumper winners often step up in trip anyway. So that's the other argument you could give. Is in the Cheltenham bumper winners, they often don't go back. You know, sometimes they don't go back for the Supreme. They step up in trip. As you say, it's quite difficult. You know, you need to be a strong stayer to get up for the bumper. You often need to be a strong stayer. So, we'll see. But yeah, he won well, didn't he? So it's another one.
But
did either of you see James's Gate on Sunday at Punchestown?
Yeah, another one.
Yes, another one of Willie's 100 that could be going. Well, I think they said they are going to go to the bumper now. So,
I mean, Paddy told us, didn't he, this year that they've got an exceptional set of bumper horses this year.
Yeah, my ears perked up when he said after Dublin. He was like, "Yeah, with some more to come out." And then you've seen there was one and one during the week, or was it? No, there's been two. There's been two that's gone quite aggressively since Dublin. I can't remember.
Mercury won, didn't it?
But that was before. I think that was before.
Oh, was it before?
That was the week leading into Dublin. There's two that's won since.
Oh yeah, of course it was. Yeah, I
mentioned it. Can't remember the other one, and that's James Gate on Sunday.
Yeah, there wasn't Redemption Day. Obviously, they've got as well.
Yeah, I'm not.
Like you say, they've still got Pink in the park, haven't they? I mean, she
don't like heavy. It's not. Don't like heavy ground. Well, it wasn't heavy. Sorry, it was very soft.
You know, I thought she came out of that race better than a finishing position.
Well, you just think with
he was pretty pissed off. He got that beat. Like
you just look at that market
he thinks
now.
He got to beat himself.
Even money is the best price you can get on Facel Vega. With the amount of horses that we've seen come out and look impressive, I think that's got to be a contender for one of the worst value prices on the whole week. Although
it's not good.
Not consultation.
That's why I said contender.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's get started anyway. Enough of that. We'll start off with a triumph.
But we'll see you there next year.
Oh yeah, we'll have to get Dan over one year.
Yeah, we are. Well, we're getting them over to Down Royal in October. But
yeah, that's it. I'll see how I crack it. If I win loads of money, I might try and pay for Dublin then.
All right, we'll kick off with the Triumph Hurdle. Current market leaders are Pied Piper and Vauban at 9-4. Phil Dorr is now all the way out to 7-1, and then a big jump to Dr. Parnassus, who ran this week just gone at 16s. Gary Moore's Porticello at 16s, and then another gap to Elliott, Tom, and Night Salute at 20-1, and the rest are bigger. We'll start off with you, Dan. Have you got any early fancies?
Well, I was on Phil Dorr. I'm still on him, obviously, but obviously that took a bit of a bashing at Dublin, in Dublin.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, I think honestly, you said 7-1.
7-1, yeah.
I think he's fair. I don't see anything wrong with that each way because
that's a smashing each way, man.
Yeah,
I don't think he'd be top three.
No, I don't. I think if you talk about, I think if you're looking at three horses, the top three in the market, the top three look pretty decent, and I think if you're looking at the most likely one to finish in the top three, it's got to be Phil Dore for me, because he's going to love going up that hill. He stays very well. He's very consistent. He jumps very well. He jumps really well. Probably going to be suited, hopefully, by hopefully if there's a good pace on for the tramp, it usually is a really solid pace. So, obviously he was basically making his running in Dublin. I think you can really mark him up. I know Vauban battered him because he did pull hard, and
he did batter him. Yeah.
He done so much wrong, and he still absolutely battered him.
Yeah,
which is
second
scary.
start too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and look, out of the two, Pied Piper and Vauban, I'd have Vauban every single day of the week.
I'd back him on the boards.
I don't like Pied Piper. I think he's a good horse, but I don't like him for this race. I just don't think it's going to suit him. I think he won a fast race the other day.
He just beat a load of poor British juveniles, didn't he?
Well, he just beat a race that just set up for, you were talking about the bumper when Kilcruit won it. This is basically a bumper, that bumper with just hurdles. You look at that race, and all the horses that were anywhere near the front finished tailed off. He just came through. And that's why he was on. Look, I'm not saying he's not a very good horse, but the fact that Gordon Elliott had already said before and said after, Phil Dore is the better of these two. Probably, he's maybe over-exaggerating that a little bit, but it tells you that, one, his homework might be better, but that's not always a good sign. But two, you can really... He's not as that far better than Phil Dore, as in people just went straight and put him straight at the front of the market, said he's going to win the Triumph, he's going to do this, how good's Vauban going to be and everything. And, I think you can take that form with a pinch of salt. I'm still going to stick with Phil Dore, because I think the other two are too short, and I think Phil Dore would beat any of the others that are in behind him. Elliott Thompson was interesting at a bigger price, but that's just because they're definitely going to run him in this race, because he'll stick to grade ones now, won't he? Because if he doesn't win, he'll run here and then run at Punchestown, I'm guessing, because if he doesn't win, he'll be that's how it works, isn't he? He'll be a novice hurdler next year. So they ran him in a grade one, and they'll do that again. So yeah, it would be interesting. But I think Phil Dore at 7-1, that's a perfectly fair price.
Yeah, you especially from an each way angle. I mean, you struggle to see anything outside the top three that are going to challenge those three. So if Phil Dore,
in my opinion, that's going to be. I don't know in what order, but I think that would be 1, 2, and 3.
He just does too much wrong for me, Vauban, for being 2-1. Bearing in mind it's a big day, Cheltenham, and it's I'm not saying the race that he won in Dublin, is not a bad race, but this is going to be a harder race, and he's shorter than he was when he was in Dublin against one rival. He's now got to face multiple more rivals, and he just all he did that day was, yes, he showed you how good he was, but he also showed you how badly he races. He didn't race very well. He jumped out to his right. He hit hurdles. Yes, he still beat Phil Dore, but would I rather back him at 2-1 or Phil Dore at 7-1? Well, looking at how Phil Dore was coming back at him as well, and we know that if there's a stronger pace, and with Cheltenham, I think it's a no-brainer. I just think he's too short. The most likely winner, yes, but he's too short, and if you're on at bigger prices,
I agree. I agree.
But
there's no way in my head where Phil Dore doesn't go off about 9-2.
Hopefully,
you wake up in the morning, if they get a bit of rain, the ground's a bit soft. Like Phil Dore's up that hill, soft ground. It's an overreaction. It's a major overreaction, isn't it?
I think the problem that they have.
I'm still pretty happy with my. I'm still pretty happy with my 6-1.
The problem they've got is there's 3 of them, so you can't make 3 horses 2-1 and then have another 10 runners, can you? So one of them's going to have to be pushed out.
Oh, of course not. Oh yeah, I mean.
Well, I'm happy. I'm happy it's Phil Dore. I'm happy enough to bet again.
Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer Vauban at 7-1.
Well, yeah, of course you would.
I'd be smashing into Vauban like it was tomorrow.
You get the Willie bar right.
Yeah, but he's 2-1, and I'm sitting for 7-1. So Vauban can. He's not going to go off any shorter than that. Surely to God, no. So I'm looking at value, and I think Phil Dore, like you say, will go off.
Both
shorter.
On Phil Dore then.
Definitely.
I think Vauban will absolutely smash him. So.
Well, it must win.
I know he jumped
Now,
right a little bit.
in all fairness, if he brushes up his jumping,
Oh yeah,
there's a great chance, and he races a bit
Yeah,
better.
no,
yeah. If he
But there
learns
is,
to
they
race,
didn't. I don't think he jumped terribly. He jumped right a couple of times at Dublin, but just in the way that the horse came round the outside, and you know, even when he wasn't there, you're looking back and thinking, well, he's going to win. He's just basically eyeing up the race, and to me, that was another one where you look at that and you think, oh, we could be looking at a future top class horse. And it would be good for Rich Ritchie and his wife, because they've wasted shitloads of money on a load of horses recently where they've either got injured or turned out to be nothing. So I would like to see him come with something. Just looking at ratings wise, I was having a look earlier at the Vauban's 145, just for a bit of context at the minute. I think Phil Dawes 141. Last year's winner, Calixios won 147, and Goshen was 151 when he fell the year before. So if you look at, I suppose, possibly the most likely winner outside the top three, you'd have to look at Porticello, and he's only 135. So he'd have to improve at least £10 to match Vauban just on the 2 runs that he's had. But yeah, it's Vauban for me. I think he could be a next superstar, multiple festival winner. Maybe he won't be, and we'll only know in a couple of years. But
maybe he's a Goshen.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll be as good as Goshen in that triumph, because I don't think you'll see a better triumph performance than what Goshen did that day when he was going to win.
That was the worst day of my life.
He's a bit mad. I think it was for quite a few people, because that was the easiest winner you'll see. But he's a bit mad. Like he's not as mad, but he's a bit mad. He jumped to his right as well, didn't he? So Goshen.
Yeah, it's it's nice to see Goshen win, but it's you wouldn't ever back him, would you? You just cheer him on every time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right, we'll move on to the Albert Bartlett, and another piece of Dublin form I'm sure we will be discussing here, with the two Manellas in the race, Kakuna and Crooner. So it'll be another race, if you've got bad handwriting, you can sort of get both names in. If the bloke behind the old Paddy Power till's no good, you might get paid out.
Suspicious bet.
Manella
Suspicious bets.
Kakuna, of course, was the one that Danny Mullins rode and rode an absolute peach at Dublin. And I was messaging you boys on the day saying I was going to back this thing, but he was an absolute nutter in the ring. So again, it's those small margins in gambling that if I would have had the bet I was going to have on the horse, if I'd have just gone to get a pint and not gone to the parade ring, I'd have ended up on the weekend. But just another one of those things.
Margins.
So I had 10-1 down here, and I only looked at this yesterday, and there's now best price 8, so contracted quite a bit from then. General sort of 5 or 6 to 1 shot. I don't know if that's because some of those are non-runner, no bet. Manella Crooner is 7 to 2, 4 to 1, so still favourites despite getting beaten by Manella Kakuna. Ginto is 4 to 1 or 6 to 1. Obviously, we've heard today or yesterday that they're thinking that they might go to the Ballymore, although they're not decided. And then we've got Hollow Games at 10s, Journey with Me 14 to 1 on Unibet, and then 16 to 1 bar those. We'll start off with you, Ben, this time. Have you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I thought the race at Dublin was quite interesting. Danny Mullins gave it a peach and stole it from the front, didn't he? But the one in second, what one is it? Is it Crooner? Is that
Kakuna was first, Crooner was second.
Yeah, Crooner, that's the one. Yeah, I actually watched this back earlier on my lunch break and work, and the mistake Crooner makes it the third last is absolutely criminal. He has absolutely no right to finish second. Absolutely no right to finish second. And stayed on really, really well. And it looks like, stiff 3 miles in the hill is going to suit this boy on the Friday. And maybe that's why Gordon Elliott's saying he thinks he might have the winner. That's why he's going to send Ginto to the Ballymore, because he thinks Crooner could be the winner. I think he'll reverse the form. I think Hollow Games is not what I thought he might have been. I thought he was going to be a start to the potato race. Yeah. I don't really have a like, to be honest. A lot of my eggs were in Ginto for this race. I think if Ginto went to this race, he'd win it from he'd win it by 5 or 6 lengths. I think anyway. Like I think he's going to be an absolute top class 3 mile novice chaser next year. So actually, if Ginto split over, we've got me and George got to be 20 to 1 on Ginto and William Hill, who have closed my account.
Yeah, we're on for the Ballymore, aren't we?
Well,
Yeah, it's a
we're on for the
bit of good
Ballymore,
news
20 to 1.
yesterday. Even though, because we all thought he was going to the Bartlett, and we've been saying it for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
7 to 1 for the Bartlett, 20 to 1 for the Ballymore.
so he's not going.
But
Well, he's supposedly going to the Ballymore. They said that's what they're thinking, but they've not decided.
You know, because
said
this
that?
old chest, Gordon, this in his racing posting, got this old chestnut. He's not as slow as people think. You know that one. I don't think. Well, he wouldn't win. He wouldn't win the Ballymore. Sir Gerhard's there. If Sir Gerhard doesn't show up to the
This is
Ballymore,
it. It's a game of cards, isn't it?
yeah,
Like,
it
it's
is.
just,
This
is what I was
With
saying.
an ace, do you know what I mean? Like, you know,
The only time we'll know
who's going to show their hand
is
first? Like,
we'll know on Sunday, or well, we won't for the well, we will because we'll or whatever Sunday or Monday. That's when we'll know when whoever or we'll know when they line up. Whoever lines up in the
'cause
Ballymore,
no doubt
on
they'll
Wednesday
keep
or
the
whatever.
Gerhard
That's
in
when we'll know.
to everything.
Exactly. Yep, that's when we will know.
wake up on Sunday morning. What's Sunday the 13th of March? Going to exchanges about 8 o'clock in the morning, and
Yeah.
you'll
Well,
know your fate.
I think the who goes to the Ballymore will be a big decision. I just think he should step up. I just thought what I saw the last day, all it said to me was that he was a stayer. I'm not saying he's slow. I think he's right, Gordon. I'm not saying he's slow because he can't be slow if he was going to win a Grade 1 over 2 mile 4. But I just thought the best part of that race for Ginto was at the end.
Was the last 2 furlongs?
I just thought after the last was the best part of that race where I thought
That's why I backed him
this
next year.
doesn't want 2.5 miles.
The festival novices 16 to 1.
Yeah, I mean, I am hoping that he goes for this race. I think what might sway them is the fact that Hollow Games has surely now got no chance, given that he's just looked like he needs about 10 miles, let alone 3.
National Hunt Chase 2023.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm looking at for him. Because I just don't think he's going to be like Statler, isn't he? He could get into places, but obviously Statler's jumping up in trip now, and
you call horses a big boat. This is a big boat.
Yeah, I just don't think he's very quick. Obviously, you don't need to be massively quick for this, but it does help to have a bit of pace in any Cheltenham race. But yeah, I think he should go for this. Obviously, you've said that they've said that now, but it's a bit of a dampener. But yeah, I think at the prices, he's the one I'd look at. I'd thought Manila Croon. I think you're right. If not, it'd be with him, just purely because basically you've outlined it. So. I thought Hillcrest is interesting as well. I know he's British, which is strange for me, given that we're just getting battered at the minute, aren't we? Anything we have, but I don't know whether he's running this weekend at Haydock because didn't he fall?
He fell at Cheltenham Trials Day.
Yeah, I think he got brought down, didn't he? Yeah, he was unseated the rider because the one fell in front of him. And then he just sort of chunked his rider off. You can't, that doesn't matter. But before that, he'd looked a proper stayer, beat Iron Maximus, who the Henderson yard thought a lot of the time before at Cheltenham. And that was just over 2 mile 4, I think. So, if he steps up in trip to 3 miles, I don't know whether he's entered over 3 miles this weekend. But if he is, that'd be interesting because he'll need to run.
I looked at the market earlier. He's put 16 to 1, isn't he?
Yeah, and he will. Is he entered? Is he entered on Saturday? Yeah.
No, I don't know. Sorry, I looked at the market.
Richard Patrick's jocked up on Racing Post, so you'd think that they're going to run.
Yeah, I think that he'd have a great chance there stepping up because he looks a proper stayer. And at 14 to 1, if he wins that, I think he's a Grade 2. He's got a month to get over it. He's got Cheltenham form. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't.
He done me a good favour the last day when he he was unfortunately brought down, I suppose you could say. But I'd backed North Lodge that day at 7 to 1, who went and won by a couple of lengths. So I was pretty
Yeah,
happy.
but North Lodge had a good form in the book, that day.
Yeah, beat
Yeah, I think Hillcrest would have run that race, but obviously we don't
yeah,
know.
he did. I mean, to be fair, North Lodge did completely cut up Balco Coastal to win, so he was going to get beat, and then thought, "Oh, fuck this." So great ride by Adrian Heskin. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I got one for the race. That's a little bit out of left field. But as we say, Gordon said he's got one for the race, so I found a Gordon Elliott horse by the name of Mr. Fred Rogers, who's entered at Clonmel on
Ugh.
Saturday.
Fred Rogers.
He's
I backed this horse earlier
run
this season.
5 times,
Looked
won
like it was
3
bait.
times. He stepped up to 3 mile for the first time at Thurles last time, and he looked pretty good, apart from the jumps.
He'll be one for the National Hunt Chase, so he needs about.
He hit everything. That's the problem. So if he can learn to jump, which is obviously a big if, but he's in the right hands with Gordon.
He's a big player.
He's 33 to 1. I know it's 3 miles to Bartlett, but you tend to need a little bit of pace. So that might catch him out, but I thought 33 to 1 in a market that's quite unappealing betting wise for me. I don't see how the two Manellas are the way they are, although Danny Mullins did give Kakuna a peach ride. Horse was galloping all the way to the line, so if you had to back one of the two, I'd be on the bigger price one. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Mr. Fred Rogers gets on Thursday. I think he'll be favourite. There's only about 6 declared now. But if he wins that, then he'll probably half in price for this, which is good enough when you're taking 33 to 1 each way.
I think the only thing with Manella Kakuna is I'm not too sure, so don't hold me to this, but I'm not so sure if who was it riding that day? Danny Mullins. Yeah. I'm not so sure if he got off and was giving it the down in trip, and Willie Mullins went, he's going up in trip. So I'm not so sure whether he was riding the horse. I'm not so sure whether he was that keen to step up in trip. But Willie Mullins.
If I had to do a match bet, I would definitely bet the Elliott horse.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Willie Mullins said he's going up, so he'll go for that race. But obviously, that could again be because Willie Mullins has already got in his.
Yeah, I think
I'm sending one of my boys to the
one problem that you might find is that
so,
now he's 8 to 1, 6 to 1. They're going to put Paul Townend on board, so which is a bit of a shame because if Danny Mullins was riding again, I think he'd have a much better chance.
Yeah, he's a very good rider. He's
and
he
really,
really good rider,
him and the horse clearly get on because the horse was an absolute screw before the race. As soon as they started going, he clearly knew what he was doing.
He seems to do well with them, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Front
he really
running
does.
jobbies. He seems to do all right, doesn't he?
Right. So what was your selections, boys?
Yeah. Crooner.
Crooner.
Because I don't think Jindo's going to go here. But if Jindo goes here, Jindo wins.
Yeah, I'm the same as you, Ben. If Jinto goes, I think Jinto has got a really good chance. If he doesn't go, Hillcrest, why not? 14 to 1 on runner, no better, or near enough, maybe a bit.
Manella Kakuna for me, but watch out for Mr. Fred Rogers. I'm going to get this video up tomorrow, so he wouldn't have run yet, but he runs on Thursday, so watch out for him. Right, we'll move on to what they call the...
Do you want to do Gold Cup last?
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, just if we blitz through the Hunters Chase and the Mares, obviously these are pretty...
I have no opinion.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
These
Go on then, Ben. Hunters Chase, give me the winner, and you're not allowed to say Bill away.
I don't know. I couldn't even name you 3 winners. That's how much I know about the race. I don't look at it. You know, what time's that run out? Is it about 10 to 5 on the Friday or something?
Yeah,
it's a bit late.
That, I think.
A 10 to 5 on day 4 of the Cheltenham Festival on Friday. I will be
10 past 4.
10 past, even at 10 past 4, I'll be blitzed in some bar. I'll be blitzed in some bar. Look at the board. I'm like, yeah, just give me a score in that there, just to watch something else to go by. I absolutely have no clue. I have no opinion. Zero interest. I'll probably end up back in the like, sure, it is what it is.
Yeah, and he jumped all right the other day. So
for all my sins, 3rd time lucky. No, not 3rd time lucky the horse, like 3rd time lucky for Bellaway in this race.
That's what I was just thinking. What?
Yeah. 3rd time lucky is going for the.
Interestingly enough, obviously Billaway's, I think he's short of 7 to 2 now. The last 5 runnings of the race, we've had one favourite win, which was, somebody tell me because I can't remember.
Oh, it would have been.
I don't like the race, so I couldn't even tell. I can just tell you last year.
What was he called? Oh,
Porlock Bay.
no, yeah. It was something. Well, was it something like that? I can't remember. He was
Let me quickly have a look.
a 9-year-old, wasn't he?
Nutswell, are you thinking of?
Porlock Bay.
No. He went off. He doesn't run anymore. He's like 12 or 13-year-old now. But
Most of these horses run this race once and never come back.
It's a small yard.
Hazel Hill.
Hazel Hill, that was it. Yeah, that was it. That's what went off favourite.
I can't remember what price went off. Anyway, the other 4 out of the last 5 years was 16 to 1, 16 to 1, 25 to 1, and 66 to 1. So you generally want to be having a little each way on something. And I found the winner, just to let you know. Well, I was saying to you boys beforehand that the last couple of videos were done. I think, I can't find this. I don't like nothing in that. Don't like nothing in that. And I found a couple of bets here.
Come to the Hunter's
we
Chase.
come to the Hunter's Chase, and then we start backing pointers, and we think we've found one. It's a horse called Lord Schnitzel, trained by Declan Quealy. He's currently 25 to 1. He's won 3 of his last 4 points, and he also won a Hunter's Chase in Limerick. I won't spend too much time on this because we know no one likes the race.
It's not bad, I can.
It tends to lead, which generally in these kind of races, you don't want to be sat in behind something because anything can happen. And he jumps incredibly well, which has won the race for a lot of horses over the last few years, including It Came to Pass.
Yeah, you need to jump well.
What won last year? Porlock Bay. All good jumpers.
Yeah.
So 25 to 1 with Bet365 in Hills, and his best price 16 to 1 elsewhere. So might be worth having a couple of quid each way. I think I will do this week. I tend to find a 1 or 2 point-to-point horses I say point-to-point horses. He's run it under rules, but tend to find 1 or 2 each year, and they always get pulled up. So hopefully this one's going to be one that actually finishes.
I promise when we do the proper day 4 preview, we'll have it.
Yeah. Even if it is Bill away at 6 to 4, you'll have a selection by the time we do it.
Not 6 to 4.
Oh, he will be in a couple of weeks.
No.
No chance. Unless Dave Casey's run about calling them up at the festival at some of these previews. He'll not be 6
So I see you boys not putting up anything.
No, not
well, I'll mention a couple. Dolphin Square won what would have been today. He won comfortably, so he's interesting. It'd be interesting to see because Bob and Co's out on. Bob and Co is out on Saturday, so that'd be interesting to see which one.
Lift him, Davy boy.
He can't go with Bob and Co again, can he? Because he's been in it a few times and he's not won it. So, but he's out on Saturday. Bob and Co. Staker Wallace, forget about him because he's had his chance. LeBroy needs about 55 miles. I was disappointed with Porlock Bay because I thought that Porlock Bay would have had a great chance just given how he just went around swinging last year. He only just won it in the end, but he obviously ran the other day and, it was disappointing he got beat, to be honest. But he could come on for that.
They were saying on...
He's not without a chance.
What were we just talking about? Up in the ante. I think he's only beat a couple of lengths, and that was only his second run since running at Cheltenham. So I don't even think that's a bad run.
So he could come on. No, it wasn't. I was expecting him to win because he was backed as if defeat was out of the question. That was the thing that done me. The market clearly expected him. He was about even money the night before. Went off about 1 to 3. So the market clearly expected him to win the race. It wasn't a bad race for the grade. So 14 to 1, he's not bad. And what was it? I mean, Bill away, you can't, can you? Not at that price. The other one, West Approach, he ran and won, didn't he, the other day? He beat Alcala in a 2-runner race. He won that pretty easily, so he's back to form and he's got Cheltenham form.
Are we still talking about the Fox? Are we still talking about the 100 Chase?
We are, because the one that won in the race that West Approach ran in was a horse called Raker's Island, and I'm pretty sure he is a 9-year-old. He won on his Hunter Chase. I don't know whether it was his Hunter Chase debut, but he won easily. It wasn't a great pace, but they never usually are they? To be fair, until you get to here. Sorry, it wasn't his first. It was his second Hunter Chase. He's won both of them easily. It was under a £7 claimer. West Approach was about fourth then, beating all ends up. And obviously he only won a 2-run race, but he's come out and franked the form, which doesn't happen very often in a Hunter's Chase. Yeah, I thought 14 to 1 at the minute. You know, he's probably the way I'd look at. Obviously with Porlock Bay, I love that horse, given how he just bolted up last year. But, you know, he's got all the things to, you know, he fits the profile, as in he's a 9-year-old. He's not actually that old for this sort of race. So, yeah, why not? Raker's Island at 14 to 1, you know. He's got a shout.
There was just one more I forgot to mention. You reminded me talking about Porlock Bay. The run he had between the one we were just talking about and Cheltenham was in a point-to-point, and he got beat by a horse called Premier Magic, trained by Bradley Gibbs, who's obviously got the best surname that we share. No. Do you know, when I was at school, I reckon everybody in my school thought that I was related to Kieran Gibbs, Arsenal player. Even though our skin tones are a little bit different.
How the hell does that work?
For some reason, people thought that was the case. Anyway, sidetrack. Premier Magic's won 6 of his last 7 starts, only beaten once, and that was on good ground, which obviously we're not going to find here. I don't know what price he is. Let me have a quick look.
I'm only on Bet365. He's 14 to 1 number and no bet.
Yeah, 16 to 1 if not. So, I mean, he's got an entry. I presume that would be the plan. Bradley Gibbs will probably ride him because he did last time. So yeah, Premier Magic, look out for Lord Schnitzel. They're my 2 pointers.
It's a bet on the day, this jobby, innit? If you want to bet on it, do not touch it yet.
You're going to have...
Lads, we spent about 7 minutes too long in this.
Honestly, mate, I was... This is gospel as well. I was literally sat there thinking, do I put a bet on Porlock Bay for the Hunter's Chase before this? Because I just thought he's getting hammered in the market. I thought, do I just have a little bit of a... You know, because I thought if he bolts up, he's going to go about 4.5 to 1. I thought, you know, he won't come out again on the day, given he won it last year. And I just sat there thinking, what the hell are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing? Thinking about, you know, if he wins by 20 lengths, let him win by 20 lengths. You know, whatever. As if you're going to put an even nominal bet on the bloody Hunter's Chase now on February the 10th or whatever it was. So I just thought, leave it.
Lost respect for you.
I did. That's it. Well, I didn't bet it, so and obviously it's double the bloody price now. So I'm glad I didn't. Otherwise I'd have knackered the job there, wouldn't I? But yeah, saved yourself.
Right, and on that note, we will move swiftly on to the Mayor's Chase, which hopefully, Ben, you've actually got a bit more of an opinion on.
Yeah, Ellie May.
Ellie May.
I think she wins.
Now she's a good thing.
This is her
2 to 13 winner.
Oh,
yeah, great. At £13 on the win too.
Well, this is my nap of the festival last year, wasn't it? I can't.
You know what? Like,
poor old Cole Reevy.
Cole Reevy's a good horse. Like, you know, like
you look at that. It was impossible. I can't believe it. I was so frustrated on the day. I thought, there's no way that Ellie may get beat. It was pissing impossible. Look at what Cole Reevy did. The next time, gives him techs on the boys and beats them by about half the track. I thought, well, do you know what? Ellie May did absolutely unbelievable to get anywhere near her. So
yeah, it makes Ellie May look good. I'm telling you, Willie's just toying. Willie's just building her up race by race. She's getting better. And you know, not the last day, which was she won 2 to 13. The day before at Ferry House, she was beat by Mount Ida. Ellie May coming around the home bend, looks like she was going to get tailed off. Next one, just keeps on staying on. Beat the half a length. Probably should have won. I'm convinced she'll win. Concertation, don't worry about that.
Yeah,
I'm not backing Concertation after last year. Broke my heart.
Yeah,
That's
another one.
I'm a bit warmer on Concertation. I know you two lads don't like it.
She's nearly as bad as Goshen in my hate books, I must admit.
You know, she's a festival winner. She's obviously she got chinned last year.
Yeah,
but
that wasn't her fault. That was
the
fault of Mr. Townend again, who went way too soon.
Yeah, he was sort of playing catch me if you can for a long way up the running. But, you know, and Black Tears is not a bad horse who chinned her that day. She's got very good Cheltenham form. Yeah, she's obviously favourite. I don't think she should be favourite on a 2 chase run so far. I think that's definitely, you know, you've got every reason to say that. But whether she's not, she's certainly got a fair chance. But
No, she's got. I was probably having a bit of a reaction. She's got a fair chance, but
I
I
think,
just fancy Ellie May. I give Ellie May one more chance.
yeah, look, the way I look at it is obviously what I just said, that she's not been at that level of form yet. But if they can get Ellie May back to the performance she put up last year, she will take the world of beating, because the form, the horse she
fucking love it.
The horse she ran against last year was just in. Obviously, she was wasn't she in foal as well? So they obviously often improve for that, and she was just unstoppable. It was just she just couldn't have. The fact she got anywhere near her is incredible.
Oh yeah, she was unbelievable.
It was a really and you obviously coming out on the wrong end of it, given the prices that I'd had her at, and it was just a bit gutting, but it was a brilliant race. It was one of the best races of the festival, really. You didn't know which way it was going to go all the way up until the last sort of 50 yards. Cole Reevy just outstayed her, and she absolutely bolted up in a Grade 1 against the boys the next time out. Absolutely hammered.
I have to say, that was probably my favourite race of the whole festival last year, just seeing those two. Because like you say, you the whole way round, you're thinking, I've literally got no idea how this is going to go.
It was like,
exactly.
It was like David and Goliath, the female version of David and Goliath.
Sue and Susan.
And obviously, it was only a 4-runner race that Cole Reevy won, but the horse that she's beaten, she beat Monkfish, who everybody was, obviously he won at the festival, and everybody was like, this is a bloody next thing. He was favourite for the Gold Cup, and Cole Reevy comes out and wallops him. Obviously getting the allowance, but that for a race of this calibre, that's an unbelievable to push her that close, and I think she should be favourite. I think Mount Ida will probably need further, and to be honest, she doesn't suit Cheltenham. If you were going to back Mount Ida at 3.5 to 1 when she ran like that last year,
the only reason she won last year because she had absolutely ounces in her hand.
Yeah, go for it, because if she does anything close to that this year, she will not get anywhere near these, because
she won't get past the first circle.
Riviere de Tel's not going to go. Because
she's going to win the Arkle.
She's going to go for the Arkle, and I just think this could be a small field, and there's not going to be a horse like Cole Reevy in it. And I think you're right. I think Ellie May will take the world of beating if they can get her anywhere near.
I think she's got a good chance. There's a couple others that I did want to cover. Paul Nicholls was Silver Forever. She's won 5 of her last 6.
It's not a bad
it looks like he might be sorting out the problem that they had in the yard. They're getting a couple of winners now, aren't they? So
is Silver Forever going? She's not in the betting.
I believe she is. She's entered in the Brown Advisory as well, but she wouldn't run in that.
Don't tell Dave Jennings that. Here's your triple chase.
Yeah, she's not. For some reason on Bet365, she's not in the betting.
Yeah, she's been taken out of Ozchecker, so okay, maybe something might have happened. But if she did go,
I don't think she's going.
I think she'd have a good chance. And the horse that I fancy for this race, I think is way too big a price, is Jeremy's Flame, and she's 20 to 1. She hasn't been out of the top 3 in.
Was that a Cromwell search?
I don't think Jeremy Flame going. I don't think she's in the betting. They've got. Yeah, I don't think they're in the betting.
Yeah, Jeremy's Flame. You're right.
George,
right.
Now let me wins on the snap.
Jeremy's Flame was beaten half a length by Constantista. She's never out of the top 3. I thought 20 to 1 was an absolute cracker of a price each way, but
you would have been right. She's not in there for some reason. Yeah.
Love the lot.
Unless they go for handicap.
Here. This is why entries come out today. Only 15.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
I'm straight off of work, so it's. I haven't been out. I haven't had the chance.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I was thinking then when you were on, thinking there's only 15 on this page here.
I think the in fashion thing is to say that Concertista's not as good as what some people think. I think a lot of people could be underestimating her. Although she's not done anything that impressively, I wouldn't say she's done anything wrong. Ellie May is a horse, as we all know from last year. We all loved her, and I think that she's. I mean, I had her down at 5 to 1 yesterday. I suppose this is why they're all shorter now because the entries have come out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's 3 to 1 now. So
Concertista was 11 to 4 yesterday, and I think that was a very fair price. 9-4, I wouldn't be so sure on. I think you've got it between the two. Like you said, I don't think Mount either suits Cheltenham, and although she's been entered, I mean, yeah,
But they've got to, haven't they?
I
They've got
suppose
to
they'll
go
run
again.
because
Cheltenham winner. So.
there's nothing else there. But she would have to be a lot
Exactly.
better than the top two in the market.
Well, the thing is, what was Ellie May rated like? If she runs to 155, which last season she was consistently able to run to that sort of level, they won't be beating her because, 155 is good enough to win this. Like I say, the only reason she was beat last year was because she ran against
A freak.
a horse that was in such good form itself. It's just for me. The question is whether they get her back to the form of last year. If they do, you may as well.
Yeah,
forget about it really because
I just flicked the entries up
she's
there.
far better than these. I
It's
think.
interesting that Henry de Bromhead's still got put the kettle on. Obviously, she won last year.
She's gone.
Had 2 runs since, and she was quite poor in both, wasn't she?
If he gets her back for that and she wins, that'll be the best training performance in Cheltenham.
Yeah.
If she comes back and wins at Cheltenham, for me that'll be the best training performance in
She
Cheltenham
won the
this year,
Arkle
without ban on, because she
won the champion
looks
chase.
gone.
How often are you getting a horse
yeah.
that's won an Arkle, won a champion chase, and then the next year she's 12-1 for a mare's chase?
right.
It's unbelievable, really.
Yeah, because she's well, it is, but you look at her races and then you'll see why. Because I reckon I could run better than her half the time. She just looks like she's just not interested. She's just not bothered, is she? She's just fed up now.
Until she turns up at Cheltenham.
So, yeah, well, maybe so. And like you say, it could look a crazy price, but I think to get her, even given this is her favourite track, to get her, she's already ran at Cheltenham this season.
It's interesting if she does go, because I think if she lines up,
AP McCoy in her back.
there's no way she could be a double figure price if she lines up. I don't think with what we expect the field to be. If like you say, there's 12 entries now, they're not going to have more than 10 runners. You wouldn't have thought.
I think they call that a good value loser.
Yeah.
That's what they call that. Honestly, that's my opinion. I think they call that it could be good value, but I think it's always going to be a loser unless God works his magic, Henry de Bromhead. So we could do it. If there's going to be a trainer that will bring a mare back for me, it'll be Henry de Bromhead. So you're with the right trainer, definitely.
Right, selections, boys, both on Ellie May.
Ellie May.
Yeah,
I think if Ellie May and Concertista were the same price, I'd be backing Concertista. But in the prices that they are at the minute, I like Ellie May. But if
put
the kettle on runs, she's good.
£200.
She's good at the festival.
Let's
put
go
the kettle
all
on.
in.
She's good. And the last 2 years we've done previews, and I've mugged her off. I'll put the kettle on. Useless. Last year, I was fluke, and I keep being wrong, so I wouldn't like to rule her out this year.
Yeah.
Right, we will move on to what they call the big race of the day, but it's one of my least favourite races across the whole festival. I don't know why. There just never seems to be a bet in it, and maybe it's because of that.
Yeah, it's just solid.
Yes,
There's a real good bet in this year.
I think there's a real good bet, but you both think that it's a terrible bet, so...
It is.
What? Oh, yeah. Oh, really? Are you really going for that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know you take the floor because I'd love to hear the case for the evident non-stayer that is going to be conflated. Surely,
the Irish Gold Cup performance was just incredible.
He just beat a load of horses that were just
all of these horses are going to be running in the race. You look.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but Aplutar didn't run. Galvin didn't run.
I can tell you that was when Conflated won that race. Not last weekend, was it? It was the weekend before.
He was very impressive. He was impressive.
You honestly, you could have heard a nun having a wank because it was absolutely silent. It was. I could tell you. I mean, and then you look online. All the tipsters have put up a 40-1. But I can tell you for a fact, nobody on course had backed Conflated because it was silent. And
no, they'd all backed. Well, even the chap next
to me looked at me and said, "Conflated? What the fuck's that all about?" And I think that summed it up pretty well. But you just can't overlook it. He won by nearly 7 lengths.
It was a very good ride.
Yeah, but I don't think it was it wasn't like Manela Kakuna or who stole it off the front, or I can't even think of the other one. What I'm trying to think of.
I don't think it was a fluke. I'm not saying it was a fluke. I just don't see how he's a 2.5. He's 2.5 miles, isn't he?
We
It's
think
just
so.
a 3-mile race because the others just
and
had a
obviously
shit
Gordon
day
had
out.
said that the only reason they were running was to see if the horse could stay. And arguably at the end he was just as strong, if not stronger, than the rest of the field. They weren't really closing on him, so I know you've got to take it on a bit of luck that he's going to get the extra half mile as well up the Cheltenham Hill. Obviously it's a lot different, but he's 12-1, and you know what? I think they were saying I can't remember who.
I mean, to be fair, if he goes, sorry mate, but if he goes, he'll go for this race, won't he? Because the other ones are lying there. And what's the point?
And they've said it already that he will be going for the race.
What's the point taking on Galvin?
I mean,
in the preview beforehand, that was a Saturday, wasn't it? I think Ruby was sat there, and they were saying.
Yeah, it was
Ruby was sat there in the windy tent that we were talking about, and they were saying that whatever horse wins the Irish Gold Cup is going to go favourite or second favourite for the Gold Cup. And obviously at the time they weren't thinking conflated.
To be fair, he was 50-1.
Yeah, and he's 12-1. Yeah. I think that's a massive each way price, considering you've got Galvin and A Plus Tard for me are the other two. So those two I think will have a good chance. But go for the rest. Manila Indo might have had an off day. Obviously had an off day before over here, but was beaten soundly.
I mean, he ran a great
Protectorat, don't make me laugh. Album Photo, maybe. Album Photo, I'm not. He's not in his prime.
No.
Tornado Flyer.
He could get a place.
Tornado Flyer basically got given a race.
The King George.
Yeah, he got given the race. The rest of the field is terrible. So I think 12-1 each way about conflated is a much, much better bet than Galvin at 9-2 to win it.
No, do you know who would beat conflated? Do you know who would beat conflated? I'm telling you now. Sam Heaney. He would beat conflated.
Oh dear. 50-1. I'm back. I'm going to get back on him.
No, honestly, Galvin wins. I'm convinced. I didn't think he was up to this level at the start of the season, but he's proven me and a lot of people wrong.
Me as well,
If he gets round at Cheltenham, if he gets the last jump and he's either a length in front or a length behind, he wins, because he's going to stay and he's going to absolutely. Davey's going to have him sitting, and Davey's going to absolutely fly him up that hill. He is going to be flying. See the rest of paddling and going towards the line. He's the one going to be like a turbo up his ass and go. I backed him with 13-2. I'm going to win again. I think he's a great bet. Absolute great bet. And I know Henry's horses weren't running well at Christmas, but I think he beat A Plus Tard fair and square. And we know Galvin absolutely loves Cheltenham. National Chase last year, he won the National Chase Cosley when I actually thought he wouldn't win it, and he proved me wrong again. So this year I'm sticking with him. He's proved me wrong 2 or 3 times, and I'm in the Galvin camp. Galvin wins the Gold Cup.
Yeah. It's the more I look at the race, the more muddy it gets, the more I just switch towards thinking Galvin has got an outstanding chance. I didn't think he could win it. I'm still not sure whether he can, just because he just puts me off. As in, like, this is a bloody National Hunt Chase winner coming for a Gold Cup. It just doesn't make sense. But you can't argue with the performances he's put up this year.
Sorry, Dan. What price is he now? Like
9.
And even
4-1, no running, no bet.
No.
9-2.
Oh, I don't know.
What are they paying? Quarter the odds or 50 odds?
I can tell you if you hang on.
But they'll pay. They'll
they're all
pay a quarter, shouldn't they? If it's Oh, is it?
See if they're paying a quarter. Well, even
you might get bigger on the day.
He is an absolute each way bet to nothing. He's a bit like Phil Dore. Totally different race, totally different competition. But I mean, we're talking about each way bet to nothing. Galvin is an absolute each way bet to nothing.
You might get bigger on the day. I agree. I think I think he's really, really hard to knock out the places. I think you're right. I think. Do you know what? There's an argument for him being favourite, isn't there? There is an argument for him being the favourite because
I think on the day that's where the money's going to come for.
The only thing I worry about is the ground, and you've got to worry about the ground because he likes top of the ground. He likes better ground, but by the Friday, you could get better ground. So that helps his cause. Obviously, if it was run on the Tuesday, it's going to be softer ground. We know that. You just want the rain to stay away as much as possible because he'll go on good ground. So, and the others won't. Manila Indo ran a really good trial, and the only thing that puts me off with him is his price, because I think he's shorter than he should be now just from that run, because he was still beaten by a horse that was 52 on the night before, and in my opinion has no chance of winning a Gold Cup. So
Here.
he just got beat by, but he was staying on well, and
Far better performance than...
yeah, that's the thing. The thing, it's just so hard, isn't it, to come back and win it again, especially back to back. Like, it's solid. Album Photo, I know people are writing him off, and I wouldn't. I think people are a bit folly to write him off.
Yeah, I see that.
This is a top class horse. It's a dual Gold Cup winner. This is a horse that has come back and proved already that he can do it again. Aplutar's got to prove he can do it again. Manila Indo's got to prove he can do it again. Protectorat's got to prove he's up to this level. Alaho was obviously bloody ridiculous. He's not going. Conflated, we know my opinion on him.
Well, if you look at...
The only one that hasn't got to prove is Galvin, because he's the first time he's running a Gold Cup. But Album Photo,
It's interesting what you say about Album Photo. I just
8-1.
flicking through his form. We go back to January 2019.
The race didn't suit
Well,
last year.
we go back a couple of years. He won the Tremor race, won the Gold Cup, second at Punchestown, and then he won the Tremor race, won the Gold Cup, and then he won the Tremor race, third in the Gold Cup, and then second at Punchestown, and he's won the Tremor race
and
again.
People are now saying, and people are now saying he's not going to win it. And I mean, I can see the reasoning behind it, because obviously his age. What is he now?
Yeah, I don't think he's as good as what he was, but at 9-1, 10-1,
is he rock solid?
Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
This is a horse that has proven at this level and in this race that he is there or thereabouts. He was behind two of the top three in the market last year in a race that didn't suit. They quite clearly said the prep was bad, the race didn't suit. The prep again is not great. He's quite clearly a fragile horse, because there's no way the prep would be any different if he wasn't fragile. They're probably worried if they run him again he might not get there, so they're going to keep him fresh for the Gold Cup now. But he's proven before he does that, and that's fine. I think 8-1 is probably a little bit short. I think now I'd want double figures, but I think you'll probably get that on the day. And I think if he is double figures,
yeah, and you're going to get
why not go in
four
each
places
way?
on the day at least, aren't you? Most places.
Exactly. You're depending on the field, at least 4 places, maybe 5, and yeah, I just think, and he's a proper stayer. He's a proper stayer, and he'll go on any ground. He'll go on, if it's good ground, he'll be fine. If it's heavy ground, he'll be fine. He just looks rock solid, and I'm just buzzing with this bloody Galloping de Champs. I'd run him in the Gold Cup. I'd go for it. Why not? He'd win. Coney
they're
Green
not going to do that
Cup.
at 6, are they? Yes.
No, they're not. They're not going to. But
yeah, but he's already like 6-1 or something for next year's Gold Cup.
I'd run him in the Gold Cup. I would run him in the Gold Cup. I would run him in the Gold Cup. And honestly,
we've been speaking for over a year, and I genuinely haven't seen you as excited about a horse as you are.
He would nearly be favourite for the Gold Cup, and I would run him in it, and I think he'd win it. But obviously, he's not going to go in it. But I was just looking to see if he was in the prices, because I was like, if he's 50-1, number to no bet, I'm having it. I'm just having 20 quid on. Because you come to the day and they somehow switch. You think, I'm sitting on a grand here on an absolute machine.
So you're gonna back it for next year's Gold Cup then, yeah? Anti-post away, go on.
He's a rocket. But the only other horse that is a novice is a Hoy Senor, and I don't think he's going to go for it.
No, I read today they're sticking the novice route.
Yeah, they've got to. Doesn't jump well enough to be. He jumped better the last day. And won as he liked. He's just really good, isn't he? He's not on Galloping's level, but he's a good horse. But he'll get put in his place at Cheltenham, I'd imagine, when the B steps up to 3 miles. But yeah, he was one that could have shaken it up in terms of he was a novice and it was interesting. But yeah, I think at the minute, Album Photo for me is the way I'd go. I think Galvin should be favourite, but Album Photo.
Come on,
Galvin,
Galvin,
you,
son.
Ben, yeah.
Up the hill.
He's 8-1, and Protectorat is 8-1. Like, this is a bloody 2-time Gold Cup winner. What the hell is Protectorat doing anywhere near his price? That's insane.
Disgusting
He's a
behaviour.
10-year-old. He's a 10-year-old, but we've seen it do before. And who won it as a 10-year-old? Didn't Corto Star win it as a 10-year-old? And he was coming back to retain his crown. So why can't an Album Photo? I know he's not as good as that, but this bloody race is nowhere near as good as what Corto was running
Fair
in.
enough.
So why not? Come on, the old boy.
And yeah, conflated.
Conflated.
Although you boys think he's useless.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No, he's not useless. He's not useless at all. I just don't think
Fair
he's
enough. Fair enough.
But he's definitely not useless.
And I never actually mentioned this at the start, but let's pick one horse each over the 4 days. Who's your best bet
Over
of
the
the week?
4 days.
Let's get a wee
Okay.
treble. Like, are we early treble?
Oof. What as in who at the prices is the best bet? Because
No,
obviously
who
you
should-
could.
Yeah, you could pick. Yeah, we'll try
Well, I
to
think
stay
it-
away from. Go ahead.
It's difficult, isn't it? Who did I say on the first day? I said there was one that was an absolute bloody good thing, didn't I? On the well, I've got two. There you go. I've got two, and I can put them in a
Go
double.
on.
Run Wild Fred for the National Hunt Chase on the Tuesday. Forget Statler. Everybody's loving this Statler, and
I'm
This
loving
is-
it because his odds are going this way and Fred's are going that way. I'm loving it.
he ain't got the profile. And look, he could win it, but he has not got the profile to be favourite, regardless of what he's won. Run Wild Fred is top rated. He's got the profile. He fits every single bill, and he's trained for this race. Gordon Elliott has had this race in mind since last season because he knew he was going to get in this race. He was going to put him in this race. He'll have Jamie Codd on, and the other one, Galloping Deschamps. Fill your boots, because the only way that can get beat is if he falls.
Yeah.
George.
He is a
It's-
machine.
Yeah.
An
I completely
absolute
agree
tool.
with both of those. Apart from those two, my best bet on the week would be the same as what my best bet on the Friday would be, as Vauban. I think he could be an absolute
Hey.
monster. 9-4. He's not going to go off much shorter on the day. You couldn't see any shorter than probably 7-4, 15-8. But yeah, I think he's an absolute monster.
You can say Allaho, you can say Honeysuckle, you can say whatever. I'm going to go outside the box a wee bit. Well, not too
Someone
much
in the
outside
Hunter's
box, but
Chase?
I'll go for Florin.
No.
No. I'll go Florin. Florin Porter.
In the Stallions, yeah.
Oh yeah. you
Yeah,
are
that
a
would be
big
nice for
Floyd
me,
Port
to be
fan,
fair. Got a bit of the 9-1.
Well, we're gonna have to do this, aren't we? We said we were gonna have to put the treble on, so but we'll do that in the
Yeah,
other
we'll
previews.
get a nice
but
treble going.
yeah, at the minute we'll that's what mine is.
Cool.
Better
Right.
chances.
We will wrap it up there. I'm sure we've given out a couple of winners out of the 150 different horses that we've gone through.
Oh,
Friday
God.
for me looks promising. It's usually the day where you've won your money on the Tuesday, Wednesday.
He's dead.
You're watching it on the Thursday.
game,
Friday, yeah, you're not betting on the Friday usually. Well, I'm not anyway.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think there's a couple of good bets. Obviously, the Triumph with Triumph owes me something with Goshen still.
Well, he's your best, isn't he?
Vauban,
So,
hopefully.
That is a
Not
good
quite the price that I had on Goshen 6 months before the race, but 9-4 is still pretty fair.
Mm.
So yeah, we will end it there.
Well, Ellie May would be
Yeah.
mine for the Friday.
Ben for the
so-
Friday.
For the Friday, Ellie May would be mine. Yeah. Ellie May.
Galvin, yeah, fair enough.
There you go. We've all got different ones. That's all right.
Yeah,
isn't
3
it?
different races. Bloody
So,
hell. Right,
What's your down?
Ellie May said, yeah,
Ellie May.
yeah.
Ellie May.
Ellie May.
Definitely. Yeah.
My
I
God.
can't not, can I?
Yeah.
Bloody
Get it
after
on.
last year.
Absolute banker.
That's
Get
it.
Your Friday. Get your Friday treble on. Book your
Oh.
holiday to Vegas. Get her on.
I'll be rolling it on. On the Friday with Ellie May. I'll be rolling it, steamrolling into Ellie May at bloody 4:00 on the Friday.
What's the
but
shortest price that you'll
we'll
take
see.
on her now? 6-4.
Oh no, I'd want bigger than that. Bloody hell, I'd want 2-1 above. So, because we won't see any of them again, will we? So I'd want 2-1 above. But I think 3. I'll back her before because I think 3-1's fair. Should be favourite. So
Fair
I'll
enough,
back her in
yeah.
a minute.
Well,
I'll go and do it
the
now.
Magic Treble early doors, Galvin 9-2, Vauban 9-4, Ellie May 7-2 is 80-1.
Whoo!
We all
Worth
have
a fiver.
nah,
£100.
20 each, and then
Yeah,
we'll go to Vegas.
It's worth a quid. Quid. 20p,
Or,
20
no,
20
That,
pence.
that'll be good to down Royal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I think we've
That's
been a while, so we better wrap up. And I'm getting hungry. Got to grab some dinner. Right. We will be back
Cheers, lads.
next
Thank
week
you.
with, I don't know, maybe the end of this week.
We'll put something out. We better start the previews in a couple
Proper
of weeks.
couple
day
of weeks, yeah.
Weeks,
Day one in the zone, final selection.
Lovely stuff.
Let's go.
Right. So
See you
yeah.
next week.